During World War II, naval warfare underwent a dramatic transformation driven by technological innovation and strategic necessity. Among the ships that symbolized this revolution, none stood out more prominently than the Fletcher-Class Destroyers of the United States Navy. These warships combined speed, firepower, endurance, and versatility in ways that redefined maritime combat. The Fletcher-Class became a model for future destroyer designs and influenced naval doctrine worldwide. With over 175 vessels built between 1941 and 1945, the Fletcher-Class became the backbone of the U.S. Navy's destroyer fleet. Their contribution was not limited to World War II. They continued to serve in Korea, Vietnam, and even in several Allied navies for decades afterward. This essay explores 6 major breakthroughs that made the Fletcher-Class Destroyers legendary and examines how these innovations shaped the evolution of naval warfare in the 20th century and beyond. The first major Revolution-Class destroyers was their revolutionary hull design, which provided unparalleled stability, speed, and durability. Earlier U.S. destroyers struggled with seaworthiness, especially in rough Pacific waters. The Fletcher-Class introduced a broader beam, 39 feet compared to the 35 feet of its predecessors, which improved balance without sacrificing speed. This design allowed the ships to achieve speeds exceeding 35 knots while maintaining control in stormy seas. The larger hull also accommodated more fuel, increasing operational range and enabling longer missions without refueling. Furthermore, the design simplified maintenance and repair, which was crucial during intense wartime operations. This engineering advancement transformed destroyers from fragile escorts into reliable ocean-going warships capable of operating independently or as part of carrier strike groups. The hull's robustness allowed the Fletcher-Class to withstand battle damage that might have sunk earlier ships, earning them a reputation for survivability. This combination of agility and strength marked the first step toward modern multi-mission destroyers that dominate navies today. Another defining feature of the Fletcher-Class was its exceptional firepower, which gave it the versatility to engage multiple types of targets. The ships were equipped with 5.5-inch 38 caliber dual-purpose guns capable of both anti-ship and anti-aircraft fire. These guns were mounted in enclosed turrets that offered protection to crews and allowed rapid firing in all weather conditions. Additionally, the Fletchers carried up to 10 torpedo tubes, depth charges, and anti-submarine mortars, making them lethal against both surface and underwater threats. This combination of armaments allowed them to perform as escorts, raiders, or fleet defenders. Their dual-purpose guns were particularly groundbreaking, as they could engage aircraft with radar-assisted precision while also bombarding shore positions. This versatility reduced the need for specialized ships, streamlining naval task forces. The effectiveness of their weapons systems was proven in countless Pacific engagements, where Fletcher-Class destroyers often turned the tide of battle with their accurate and relentless fire. Their balance of offensive and defensive weaponry became the new standard for destroyer design worldwide. The introduction of radar technology aboard the Fletcher-Class destroyers represented a monumental shift in naval combat. Before radar, naval engagements depended heavily on visual detection, which was limited by weather and visibility. The Fletchers incorporated state-of-the-art surface search and fire control radars, such as the SG and Mk-37 systems, which allowed ships to detect enemy aircraft and vessels long before they were visible. This gave commanders precious time to prepare for attack or evade threats. The integration of radar, guided targeting significantly improved gunnery accuracy, particularly in night battles where the U.S. Navy gained a decisive edge over Japanese forces. Furthermore, the inclusion of sonar equipment enabled early detection of submarines, enhancing anti-submarine warfare capabilities. These systems marked the beginning of electronic warfare as a decisive element of naval operations. The Fletcher-Class Destroyers demonstrated how information and situational awareness could be as powerful as guns or torpedoes, setting the stage for the information-centric naval warfare that defines modern fleets. Before the Fletcher-class destroyers were notoriously cramped and uncomfortable, which affected crew performance during long missions. The Fletchers introduced improved living conditions and better internal layout, a major breakthrough in human-centered design. The expanded hull allowed for air-conditioned compartments, more spacious crew quarters, and better ventilation systems. These improvements were not mere luxuries, they directly enhanced combat readiness. Crews could rest, eat, and maintain higher morale even during extended deployments in tropical climates. The ships also had more efficient workflow designs, with well-placed weapon stations, control rooms, and maintenance areas, minimizing response time in emergencies. The focus on crew efficiency reflected a growing understanding that the endurance of the sailors was as critical as the durability of the ship. These human factor improvements became a model for post-war naval design, ensuring that future warships balanced technological sophistication with the well-being of their crews. One of the most significant innovations of the Fletcher-class destroyers was their ability to perform multiple roles within a single mission profile. Earlier destroyers were often limited to escort or torpedo attacks, but the Fletchers could shift seamlessly between anti-aircraft, anti-submarine, and surface combat duties. This flexibility was made possible by a balanced design philosophy, combining powerful engines, advanced sensors, and diverse weapon systems. In the Pacific War, they escorted aircraft carriers, bombarded island defenses, hunted submarines, and even rescued downed aviators. The Fletcher's adaptability allowed commanders to deploy them wherever they were needed most, reducing logistical complexity and increasing operational efficiency. Their multi-role capability foreshadowed the modular approach used in modern destroyers like the Arleigh Burke-class, which continues to perform diverse missions with minimal reconfiguration. The Fletcher-class proved that versatility was the key to naval dominance in a rapidly changing theatre of war. The final, and perhaps most important breakthrough, was the Fletcher-class's exceptional survivability. In naval warfare, being able to take a hit and continue fighting is often the difference between victory and defeat. The Fletcher-class introduced advanced compartmentalization, redundant systems, and reinforced hull sections that allowed ships to withstand severe damage. Their larger hulls also meant more room for emergency pumps, power generators, and firefighting equipment. Many Fletchers survived torpedo hits and kamikaze attacks that would have destroyed earlier destroyers. The ship's crews received extensive training in damage control procedures, turning survivability into a coordinated human and mechanical effort. This focus on resilience set a new benchmark in naval engineering and inspired similar practices in destroyers built by other nations. The survivability of the Fletcher-class ensured that these ships not only fought effectively, but also returned home to fight again, making them legends among naval veterans. The operational history of the Fletcher-Class Destroyers during World War II underscores their revolutionary impact. From the Solomon Islands to the Philippines, Fletchers were everywhere, escorting carriers, screening battleships, and engaging enemy fleets head-on. They proved indispensable during critical battles, such as Leyte Gulf and Guadalcanal, where their radar-guided guns helped counter Japanese night tactics. Their versatility allowed the U.S. Navy to maintain dominance in the Pacific despite the vast distances and logistical challenges. In many cases, Fletchers filled gaps left by larger ships, taking on offensive roles beyond their size classification. Their presence boosted fleet morale, as sailors regarded them as reliable protectors and fierce fighters. By the end of the war, the Fletcher-class had earned more battle stars than any other destroyer type, cementing their place in history as the quintessential fighting ship of World War II. After the war, the Fletcher-class destroyers continued to serve around the world, symbolizing American naval excellence. Many were modernized under the Fleet Rehabilitation and Modernization (FRAM) program, receiving upgraded radar, sonar, and anti-submarine weapons. These improvements extended their operational life well into the Cold War era. Several were transferred to Allied navies, including those of Japan, Greece, Turkey, and Mexico, where they continued to operate for decades. Their longevity demonstrated the robustness of their original design and engineering. In Korea and Vietnam, Fletcher-class ships provided gunfire support and coastal patrol duties, proving their continued relevance in the age of missiles and jet aircraft. This enduring service record made them one of the most successful destroyer classes in naval history, bridging the gap between the gun-dominated battles of World War II and the high-tech warfare of the modern era. The design principles pioneered by the Fletcher-class destroyers influenced nearly every subsequent generation of naval engineering. Modern destroyers such as the Arleigh Burke-class and Japan's Kong-class trace their lineage back to Fletcher design concepts. Balanced firepower, modularity, and survivability. The integration of electronic warfare systems, emphasis on multi-role functionality, and crew comfort standards all owe a debt to lessons learned from the Fletchers. Moreover, their success demonstrated the strategic importance of medium-sized, highly capable ships in fleet composition, leading to the development of new destroyer doctrines worldwide. The class also inspired naval architects to pursue standardization and scalability in warship production, a key factor in the U.S. Navy's wartime efficiency. The Fletchers were not only powerful weapons, but also templates for future innovation in shipbuilding. Beyond technology and design, the Fletcher-class legacy is deeply tied to the sailors who manned them. These ships became homes to crews that displayed extraordinary courage under fire. The improved living conditions and efficient layout fostered strong camaraderie, essential for maintaining morale during long deployments. Training programs focused on teamwork, especially in gunnery and damage control, turning ordinary sailors into highly coordinated fighting units. The sailors' adaptability mirrored the versatility of their ships. They learned to handle radar, sonar, and complex weapon systems with precision. Many veterans later recalled their time aboard Fletcher-class destroyers as the most challenging yet rewarding experience of their lives. Their stories became part of naval lore, immortalizing the human spirit that powered these steel giants. The bond between man and machine in the Fletcher fleet stands as a timeless reminder that technology alone cannot win wars. It must be guided by courage and discipline. The Fletcher-Class Destroyers were more than just warships. They were the embodiment of innovation, resilience, and adaptability. Through 6 key breakthroughs: hull design, armament, radar technology, crew efficiency, multi-role flexibility, and survivability, they revolutionized naval warfare. They demonstrated that a single class of ships could combine the speed of light vessels with the power of capital ships, setting a new paradigm for naval strategy. Their influence continues to echo in modern fleets, where destroyers remain the backbone of maritime power projection. The Fletcher-class legacy is not merely one of steel and machinery, but of vision and determination. They proved that when engineering ingenuity meets tactical brilliance, the result is not just a ship, but a symbol of national strength. As naval historians often say, the war was won on the decks of the Fletchers, and their legacy will continue to sail through the annals of naval history for generations to come.